Aleia Hobbs, 694, only behind Arina Privalova. Number 2 all time, Gordon. What did she have to say after? What did you think of the race?
Yeah, I mean, I asked her, like, was this on your mind going into the season? She said no. She said she didn't really eye the American record until she ran sub 7 in Arkansas 2 or 3 weeks prior. And then once she realized that, hey, I'm in like the best shape right now for the indoor season, I might as well just go for it. And you're at altitude. She put together a good semi and then ultimately a great final. And it wasn't even close. I mean, she didn't barely break the record. She kind of shattered it, in my opinion, when it comes down to it. And she's in the prime of her career. This is where she's in her peak season. So you got to think that this is going to translate hopefully well to outdoors. And right now, there hasn't really been a U.S. woman who's been able to perform at the highest level when at the final in a global championship in the women's 100. I mean, when's the last time a U.S. woman has finished top 2 in 100?
Gold in 17, Tori Bowie. So that was the last time.
Okay, so 17. So it's been 6 years. It's been a while. It's been a long time. That's like a whole. So that's basically a whole. In a weird way, like a prime generation. Like
yeah.
You're kind of in your prime for 6 years, so it's like one era of women's sprinting, of kind of like of a drought, and maybe Aleia Hobbs could be that woman to kind of break that drought. We all were thinking it was going to be Sha'Carri, right? When she was doing her thing in 2019 and 2021. That hasn't unfolded yet, but maybe Aleia Hobbs is that woman who can find a way to break up the Jamaican, dominance that's been going on the past few years.
The reason why I'm optimistic about that happening, that exact scenario happening with her, is because she's a 10.8 runner already outdoors. 10.81 her PB. You see some of these 60 specialists who tear it up indoors and their PB is north of 11 seconds. And then you think, oh, no, wait, but this will be the year. Look how fast they're running the 60. This will be the year. They'll come outdoors and they're going to set the world on fire. Hobbs is already an established 100-meter runner. And then now she's running faster in the 60. And if you get into the 10.7s, then you're in business. Then, we don't know what's going to happen with Jackson and Fraser-Price and Thompson Hurrah, right? At their peak, obviously, they're going to be untouchable. But maybe it is a 10.7 type race at the World Championships. And then that's when Hobbs can sneak in there. Like, you're looking at her 60 progression. Her fastest time before this year was 7.07, and it's not as if she never ran a 60, right? She competed in college, ran a lot of 60s there. She's running indoors year in, year out. She goes 707 down to 694. That's a big jump. And even if she improves a tiny little bit with her 1081 PB, I think this could be something. I think this could be indicative of something special for Hobbs outdoors. Also, there's a clear reason why she's getting better when she explains it. I don't know if she told you, but in the previous interviews that I saw, she talks about being healthy for the first time during indoors, and she talks about lifting weights, like really committing to the weight room. So maybe there is some change in her training that explains why she's faster, which is also going to translate outdoors, and she can get into the 10.7s. Do you see any scenario where you can be slower than 10.7 and be in the medals?
No.
So, yeah. So that's why I'm saying if she runs mid 10.7s or even high 10.7s, gives herself a shot, right? She gives herself a shot.
Speaking of giving yourself a shot, JT Smith, who had JT Smith winning the men's 60 from Texas A&M Commerce, school that is apparently a Division I school. I didn't know that. Texas A&M Commerce wins it 6:53, stunning upset, beats Kendall Williams 6:59. Cravon Gillespie, another notable pro, finished fourth. JT Smith, we'll see him most likely back in Albuquerque 3 or 4 weeks from now, or 3 weeks, I guess. Wasn't the only college kid to win a U.S. title. Justin Robinson won the 400 in the middle of his college season. But JT Smith, man, getting a win. Now, obviously, the win comes with a little bit of a caveat. Noah Lyles decided to scratch the 60-meter final, which opened up an opportunity for JT Smith to get the win. What are your thoughts on Noah deciding to scratch the final?
He was one of the few superstars who showed up, so it was a little disappointing. But he was one of the few superstars who even bothered to show up. So how do you criticize him? At least he ran 2 rounds. If you're going to criticize Noah Lyles for scratching the final, well, then you got to criticize a whole long list of other people for not running the first round or the semifinal. I thought with the altitude and the quick track, he could do something quick, right? And he could achieve his goal. Obviously, he didn't think that was going to be the case. Otherwise, I think he would have run it. What was that? Is that a hip issue? Was that a hip? You talked to him after.
Said hip. Yeah, he said hip issue. I mean, it was a unique thing that they had to run 3 rounds. They ran a first round the day before, and then it was going to be semis and final. I like to think that if there wasn't 3 rounds, he might have been able to do it. Like if it was just a one-day thing, he probably would have ran the final. After the semis, he like jogged off the track very quickly, was very like just in the zone. I was actually trying to like get a video of him being like, "What are you gonna do in the final?" And he just like waved me off and just like kept on going. But fortunately though, Noah Lyles didn't do a thing where he scratches and then doesn't explain why. He tweeted out why he scratched. He did an interview on NBC, and he also came through the mix zone and talked to FloTrack for like 3 minutes. So he wasn't trying to hide behind scratching, at least, which I was appreciative. Let's see if we have his tweet up. Colt's finding it right now. Just go and find a tweet where he says why he scratched. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Had to pull out of finals due to a hip flexor, was just too tight. Rather run another day than take a chance on injuring myself.